I didn't see any. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's looking good, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
AJ, you have no audio in your YouTube.
How about now? Now I have it. All right, so we'll edit that out. Welcome, everybody. Not financial advice. We're talking about the fucking market right now that is gone through a crazy move. I just talked for about 2 or 3 minutes and I just realized nobody could hear me. But to reiterate what I was saying is if you were watching on like Binance Futures, a move like that, you watch the order books get completely cleansed. Um, to the point where there are no buy orders to satisfy the selling that comes from stops as well as liquidations, of course. I think Dot had what was the size of the liquidation on Dot? Somebody big got fucking licked on that one. It was like 3 million or something. What was it? I don't know. Chris, you there? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You're
okay.
fine.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, there's always usually some sort of squeeze that comes after, but you got to be careful because there tends to be a retest that sometimes actually takes out this low, but that's kind of like if you missed it right now. Like looking at something like Alpha, I don't know if I would necessarily enter here. I'd wait. Same with Tezos. Wait to see if this breaks out. Then yeah, you could probably enter and then look to get out around this level here and then buy the dip again. But Chris, I know you've been charting the total market cap and kind of forecasting a move similar to this. Do you want to maybe hop on stream and share what you're looking at and what you've been seeing?
Well, yeah. I could show you something I'm looking at just this instance right now. It's here, right there. I think you guys can see me right now.
This guy Isaiah is saying, how do you swing trade this dump? Well, you can do both actually. This is dumps like this are typically very good entries for swing trades. If you keep a wide enough stop, like it doesn't have to be crazy wide, but like if you enter like on the retest and you keep a stop maybe like 3 or 4% away, I mean you can hold on to that and if it bounces out, then typically that would indicate you know significant upside. But the other way to do it is just to scalp it, which I think I was muted when I was discussing why or how to do that, but we'll talk about it a little more. Um, so the echo trolls are here. So Chris has his screen on deck, and I'll turn it over to him.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's funny we're talking about that, and I was looking at this chart right here, which I haven't opened in a couple of days because I've been out of commission. But this is the first time that Dixie has actually broken this resistance point and actually just fired not too long ago before closing today. It's the first time it's broken this since November of last year. So I think this is also partially responsible for what we're seeing here. I mean, and obviously not entirely, but I mean, a strong dollar has never been particularly friendly with alts in general. So, um, that's one thing there. The second thing that we were looking at was, sorry, let me just open this, the total market cap. And this, we talked about this on the call on last Sunday, where I thought it was going to do something a little bit like the fractal, the previous fractal, because we were too close to this recent move right there. And if we looked at what it did in the past, it would probably do something that was similar to what was going on in January. And I just copied over this fractal over to here and measured it with the first big dip right there. And it's almost followed it to a T, except for what it just did right now. That being said, I mean, if you look at what it's done in the last two retracements, which were 26%, 26.15, 57%, and where we are right now, which is, not even 15%, we're at 14 point something percent. I mean, I don't think that this is, a reason to just fire sell everything you've got and exit all markets. That would be a little bit premature right now. So, but that's what I'm looking at.
Right. So, so yeah, definitely not to exit all markets, but what about buying, Chris?
You still there?
Yeah. Oop.
I can't hear you anymore.
I muted myself. Whoops. I said, yeah, like what about like buying? I mean, obviously not exiting here. You don't, I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. But
Oh, for sure.
as far as alts, I mean, Stillman on the other side of the world isn't available to join. However, I'll pull up BTCD right here. And I mean, look at this guy. I mean, we're still not, even in that dump, it didn't break out. And one of the things that I pay very close attention to, especially when trading alts, is if Bitcoin dumps violently, you're obviously going to expect the alts to lose value in USD simultaneously. But when I get really concerned is when BTCD breaks out. So you have alts becoming bearish versus Bitcoin, and Bitcoin becoming bearish versus US dollar. That's the recipe for disaster, right? We saw that in 2018. But
Yeah.
as of now, this is just gathering up momentum to pick a direction, right? I mean, if this takes out this diagonal here and starts to break up, I mean, I'm not gonna. It would probably have to coincide with Bitcoin either breaking out, making a new all-time high, and running to like 100,000 or something, or breaking down horribly and then just significant amounts of capital just fleeing the market altogether. And in that scenario, you would get like a structure breaking dump on BTC. This would curl over, which I really don't like what it's doing here, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this, but in a bull market, you want to buy when it's most scary, right? It's a tough
Yep.
concept to grasp, and it feels unnatural because the price action is meant to make you sell and be scared and short panic short a dump. Like that happens on every time frame, right? It happens on the 1 minute all the time. But when you're looking at it on a higher time frame, on the macro scale, in a bull run, which we are clearly in, whenever it gets very scary, that's your opportunity of maximum opportunity. The same is said for a bear market, right? So if the market is bear, anytime it looks really bullish, like it's about to be super bullish, then it's going to dump. And when it starts doing that, and obviously with the trend would need to be confirmed to be downward, making lower lows and lower highs and whatnot, then those are the areas that you look to take profit. as well as short if that's if that's the, you know, the type of trading that you're doing. Some people should probably stay away from that, to be honest. Not everybody is built for trading Bitcoin with leverage. It's just not for everybody. And if you're not good at that, then that's fine. The other way that you could short is to go to USD. Like, that's in essence taking out a 1x short on BTC, just taking your profit at key levels. But you never want to do it in a state of emotion and on a move like this at the bottom, you know, ideally. However, I mean, we'll see how this daily shapes up. I have these two levels. These were significant for me. You probably can't see it, but it's around 52.5 and 54.9 ish. On the lower time frames, they've been, you know, a lot of interaction there. So this one, when we couldn't gain acceptance above, hit off this guy. But if we close the daily above it, I would take that as a good sign. You know, I think I'm not sure as far as what's gonna come in the next few days, because frankly this daily doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. We may get a lower wick or dip into this area. This would be like below 50K. That would be scary for real, right? And it can happen. Sure. You know, that can definitely happen. And if it does, you know, you have to have a plan, right? So you definitely, if you're playing now, you want to have stops, but I think it's a good spot to take risk. That being said, if these lows get run and, you know, not bought, you're going here at, or worse, most likely. So just be aware of that. But if it gets into this area or this level, like, that doesn't mean sell and like the market's over. We could be starting a bear market. However, when you get these dumps, there's going to be a squeeze on the shorts that comes all the way back up, like probably to at least here. And if it stalls up there, then now you're like, okay, maybe we're in a bear market. But at this point, it's kind of premature to call it such. And looking at BTC dominance, as well as kind of how alts are handling this, I think we're still okay, and I still think alts have upside. One of the ones that I was looking at is Tezos, one of the most hated coins out. But part of why I like it, and it didn't perform too poorly today, all things considered, in comparison to the rest, is like when you look at it versus BTC, this looks bottomed out as fuck, and this is just a bull flag off the lows, right? So you see the volume coming in. Even on today, this is not a bearish candle. This is starting to look like it's going to break out soon. So obviously you want to get above this moving average, like clearing 800 cleanly on the SAT level. You start to get closing above this neckline. I mean, people felt this is the neckline dump, right? So it goes right to this neckline, rejected. But, you know, had BTC not shit the bed, this might have continued today. But it didn't. But that being said, it didn't completely destroy this candle. This is still a bullish candle to me. I mean, we have 45 minutes or so, but versus BTC, this still looks very, very promising, in my opinion. And I wouldn't become bearish on this unless it completely runs this. But at this point, it looks pretty decent versus BTC to me. When I look at it versus USD, obviously this has been one of the most frustrating coins because it pumps every time it looks bullish, rejects. We thought we were having acceptance up here. Even though I was in a long and it looked bullish, I still took profit. I still moved my stops because this fucking thing does nothing but dump every time. So, I'm not falling for this shit again. I mean, if it goes, great, but, you know, I've seen it enough times here, and here, as well as here, and you get this 4 hour plus this 4 hour, that's fucking bearish. Like, no doubt about this. These two 4 hour closes, bearish as fuck. So then you get this, but, you know, very strong bounce off the lows. So I would keep an eye on this guy. It did the nice retest here, and, you know, we'll see. It's got to pop above this. But if it does, like, it's going to run. It'll run a lot. So, you know, I would keep an eye on it here. What else? What do we got?
I just saw something in the comments maybe we should address. You know, BTC chops, alts rip. I think people need to be a bit careful about that narrative because things have changed a lot. I mean, BTC only accounts for 30% of the big boy volume in where trading is concerned in this market. You got USD and you got USD and Ethereum together are double the volume of BTC. So it's no longer the same market as 2017. Not this time it's different, but just to be just to consider those market mechanics that are slightly different this time around.
Yeah. Do you make anything of the Fidelity ETF being announced today?
No, actually, I just saw it and I didn't read it yet.
Okay,
I saw it posted earlier on.
got it.
But I mean, it's one of many that has added BTC, which is kind of cool. And I think this one does 401ks. Is that possible?
I haven't done the research on it yet either because it happened like in the middle of the day, but like while I was trading, so it came at like an interesting time, but it didn't. It provided a dead cat bounce that then capitulated like shortly after. So,
Okay.
you know, it's kind of interesting because you have the Tesla announcement as well as Fidelity, and Bitcoin still like shit the bed. So it's not something that I'm just like ignoring, frankly, because when you have like powerful catalysts, you want to see follow through. You don't want to see dumping continue, right? It's not a great sign. So that being said, like we didn't break the structure of anything. It's not confirmed. You know, this is the end, but you know we're getting close, and that's why, you know, I'll tell you guys like in the dojo, which is the Discord group that we're all in right now, actually, on Voice. I pinged everybody, said, listen, hey, you got to buy now. You have to. You know, it doesn't matter. Like when you get this much blood in a bull market, even for a bounce, you play the bounce. You know, if you're a trader, you have to be a buyer there. You can't be a seller. And then you can move your stops up. You can take profit. You can do what you want. But I think the best way to play these is you play that bounce and you move your stops with the move. And then if you get stopped out, it's fine. Wait for that retest. There's specific areas on the lower time frame that I look for that tend to get hit on this move. And I re-long that with more conviction. And then obviously you have to have a stop. But, you know, from an emotional perspective, it just certainly feels like we should be getting bouncing from here. And when you look at dollar, let's see, like Chris was discussing, it hit a level it hasn't hit in what, a year?
Since November, I think 16th
So
of last year.
let's look. I think this is the 60 MA. This has got to be that's the 200. Sorry. So this is the 200, right? Pretty important high time frame moving average, right? Now, when you look back, it was support for most of the bullish run, right? Mm-hmm. At least for the past few years. Acted as support. We break below it. You get bear market. It's fine. This is the first time it's retesting it since basically stimulus and plunge protection was implemented in March from COVID. It really, you know, once this dumped, it didn't look back. It never retested it. We're finally retesting it here. I don't think it just gets through on the first pass. That's the other thing that I'm looking at here and why I think Bitcoin is also going to bounce. Because we did have very positive catalysts going today. You have this neckline right here. This is always, I mean, even though this made a bull flag and broke out, like, that's why when I say, like, leave room for error, you should, because if this has enough juice to get through this MA as well as this neckline, like, it's going to be a pop. It'll be a nice pop, like, at least probably a couple bucks before it stops. So, you know, that would be bearish for risk assets, in case you don't understand what that means. If you're trading, let's say, Tezos versus the US dollar, and the US dollar is strong, that would make Tezos weak. The same goes for Bitcoin and stocks and anything else that you're trading versus USD. If the dollar is very strong, then the asset that you're trading against would be weaker, right? So if you look at this, I mean, this is from March, the bottom of Corona. Look at what dollar's done. It's gotten weaker, weaker, and weaker. So when it starts to show strength, you need to pay attention, all right? But that being said, as far as like my rationale for taking risk here, at the very least on a scalp basis, is that, you know, this ultimately is a bear flag, right? And this can roll over here right at the neckline and the MA. If this MA rejects, then, you know, you have very good potential for this to roll over, take out this level even. That can happen. And that would provide like pretty fucking crazy bull market, you know, that continues, that nobody's going to really expect to come at this point.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, if this pops through and starts to get real bullish, like we're looking here at the very least, like 94 and change. So, you know, I'm not sure. I'm
I'm not sad. I'm really not sad because, you know, right now I'm pretty heavy in US, and this is really good to convert with my own local currency. So I think people should also be looking at that right now as a really opportune time to convert if you want to cash some stuff out.
You said now looks like a time to convert?
Well, yeah, definitely against, well, in my case, the Canadian dollar, absolutely.
Right now.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Okay. So you're cashing your crypto out here then.
Oh, just the stables.
Oh, the stables. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm,
All right.
mm-hmm.
Got it. I thought you were saying you were selling BTC to USD or to Canadian dollar here.
No. You can get a couple of points off your stables, you know, might as well. It's free.
Right. All right. So what else are we looking at? Might as well go over Gather, right? Because I get that question a lot. Gather is not going to. Well, you know what? Maybe it could have. It didn't. But I saw there were a couple coins that were able to kind of weather this. I think the only one that I was looking at was this VSP, which performed very well today because it's fucking bullish looking. So this is pretty bullish looking, but for the most part, almost everything took a shit today. So I wouldn't expect Gather to do no different. This is unfortunate. Let's put it that way. You really wanted this to hold here. It didn't. So now it's retesting the top of this guy, right? Here,
Yeah, the lower node.
Yeah. So we'll do this. We'll do this. So this wave, we spent February 10th to, this was like 5 weeks of accumulation in this wave, which ultimately broke out, and you get your high, and now it's retesting the top of it. I mean, this was kind of retesting, but this is the pop. Now it retests the top. You would like to see a bullish reaction here, right? Of course. Yeah. From a fundamental perspective, the thing is very strong. If you followed me, you understand how I feel, and you know, I was actually planning to do a stream with Reggie tonight to talk about the development on Gather and what's going on with them. You know, not leave people in the dark. But I felt like with the atmosphere and what's going on in the market, it wasn't the best time to do it. And you know, we'll schedule that for like later this week or something. Because he's got a lot to talk about, because there is a lot going on. And if you look at market cap size, like we're talking now, it's probably below 30 million, around 30 million. It's completely disproportionate to what they've been able to accomplish. And there's a lot of exciting shit on the horizon. This is a company that weathered bear market for 3 years off of $300,000, right? And was able to, you know, they're about to go live in the next week or two, right? So, you know, I'm not really concerned. I think, like, there is no asset that's market proof, but, you know, when you get real adoption and real projects that have true fundamentals, like they're able to weather the storm and then bounce back stronger. So that's what I say to this. We'll see what happens here. If the market is to recover, I think this recovers like pretty quickly. So SHIB, they want me to look at. Okay. This is a pretty intense bull flag here. You're hitting levels. Like, you could get bounces out of here. I don't love this, to be honest. Like, on the lower time frame, I guess, like, if you're playing macro, you're not I don't know here. You know, I think it could go a little bit lower. I don't like what it's doing on this hourly, but if it's able to get down here and the support holds, then you're gonna get a bounce to here at least. But you know, it's all about does this hold. So it's kind of risky, but you know, it's let's look at it on a different resolution, right? Yeah, if this takes out this level or like goes here, let's say, like let's say it goes to like 390, something like that, and that ends up holding, you'll get a nice bounce. Like you could even get, you know, as much as like close to a 2x bounce out of that, like pretty quickly. So when I look at the daily, you know, it's not the prettiest. It's not the prettiest. I'm not too sure. Yeah, the thing with coins that have pumps out of nowhere is that they fucking dump hard. They dump hard, right? Because what happens is you get so many people chasing it, like, and all the volume comes here, right? So it's like, but in reality, like if you look at it, I'll show you where the volume is. I don't remember, but okay. So somebody bought a fuckload here. Smart money, pumped this shit right here, and you know, people. Well, the volume profile doesn't really indicate this, but what happens is people up here and in here buy, and then they all kind of panic at the same time, and you know, eventually there's usually a capitulation, which looking at this doesn't seem to have happened. So that's why I was a little bit, you know, hesitant here. I'm not sure, and I don't like this curved over structure here with the wick. Wasn't able to reclaim this level, not even fucking close. Wasn't able to get above here. So on a lower time frame, like this looks kind of bearish still. What's up, Dreamcast? Edward Park, hey, how you doing? H bar still hanging in. Please do Hodge. I'm clueless. I don't know what that means. Somebody wanted me to look at DOT, I thought. I don't know if that comment was scrubbed. Bitcoin, please. Yeah, we did. We spent a good amount of time on Bitcoin. Let's see. Similar to the alts. This is huge volume here, pretty good. Let's see. Like we're in dicey territory, but I think you can, if you understand risk management and like you don't go too crazy, you could definitely take some risk here. We should get at least some relief or a squeeze here, but that being said, you know, if this guy breaks down, you're going to get a retest of the low, most likely. You know, high 51s. If that holds and it bounces out of it, then it's very bullish. If it doesn't, you know, it gets dicey. So, you know, you want to be careful here. But at the same time, yeah, I think you take risk. DOT, absolutely. I said to buy the dip on that one dumped harder than others because there was a somewhat abnormally large liquidation that needed to be cleared out. And yeah, when you see this, you play it. And look, this is already this is fucking bullish. Like, you flip this. Yeah. Yeah, this is coming back, most likely. This is pretty bullish looking. You know, it went lower than it was supposed to. Let's put it that way, right? I mean, everything goes where it's supposed to, but look at that volume, you know. Like, the whole book got cleared out by that guy, so I don't know. Darth Trader, what's up? Love to see LTC. Let me think. I don't want to do the dancing bear thing. They're throwing too many tickers at me at once. I don't like it. Let me chill out. Let me chill out for a second. Who else is around? Anybody else?
Good call on not doing Hodge, by the way. I just checked it out.
Hodge?
Yeah.
No good?
It's like completely flatlined on the bottom of a chart. It pumped like in early February. Now it's just been completely flat for the last 4 weeks and it hasn't moved.
Yeah, this is gonna have to prove something to me. But then again, I mean, I don't know the fundamentals of this. I don't even know what this is. So, you know, if you've done your research and you're bullish on this long term, like it's not a bad spot to buy. You know, same for SHIB, to be honest. Like I wouldn't put your full position in, but you know, this can hold, and if it does, and this is a bullish asset, and you know, who knows? There could be some sort of catalyst around the corner. And if this breaks out, it can continue. But you know, from on the low time frame, it's kind of stinky, right? That being said, like I think if you want to be a sniper, you might be able to get a lower entry, but it's not in a terrible spot. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I'm not buying it, but we'll see. Ooh. Okay. This might pop. It might. Let's see. What did the daily close like? Yeah, it closed shit, but it closed above this line, which is okay, I guess. Oh, no, it didn't close. I'm sorry. Daylight savings. We got a half an hour. We definitely want to close above this. Closing below this would be really bad. Like, we'd like to do better with this candle. Turn this into like a Darth Maul, potentially. You know, if this closes around like 54 or something, that would be ideal. I mean, the best you can ask for, really, at this point. Let's see. So, you saw Beeple on CNN? He was like basically admitting that it's a bubble and people are blaming him. I was always thinking, like, I'm like, if this guy's making millions and millions of dollars with Ethereum, like, he's going to sell it, obviously. But, you know, at the end of the day, when you look at, like, how much volume is traded on Ethereum, I wouldn't think it would be that significant, right? You know? Yeah. But I think it's more of the narrative, right? So.
There's a lot of that going on right now. I mean, it is that for one thing that's not different from the 2017 market. There's way more narratives than actual value.
Yeah. Yeah. So B-Root says, like, am I playing alt season? Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm. All right. So in case, I guess if people are still asking, then perhaps I wasn't as clear. It's because, you know, I know some of the people play on futures and they take irresponsible positions. They don't know how to manage their risk. And if, like, KJ says, hey, buy alts now, you know, they might just go all in and then get liquidated right here on the retest before it takes off. So in case anybody was confused, I think this is a time to take risk. All right. However, I started this stream like I was pinging to take risk here, right? And so now it's like we're in a bear flag that can break down and still be, you know, this will be bullish. But like if you're taking risk now, you're kind of buying resistance. So like it depends on what time frame we're looking, but in the general time frames, like if you're not a leverage trader and you're trading spot, like somewhere here, like if you didn't buy anything, like you could buy some. I wouldn't go all in. I would look to see any sort of dip you buy. So like DOT looks fucking bullish. So let's not look at that. This looks pretty good too. I mean, I don't want people to FOMO in here because this can reject and then do this. This can go like back down here and then shoot right out and then do this and then do that, you know, like something like that. So definitely make sure like you have enough powder to buy the second dip because there almost always is the second dip. The thing is, sometimes that dip actually comes from like this level here. Like this can break out and like hit this level, then do your bull flag that ends up like being real nasty and doing this and then coming out of it. It doesn't, I mean, it might even take out this low, right? We don't know. It depends on what DXY does. So if dollar pumps and Bitcoin dumps again, tomorrow after the bounce, you may get another low that's not too far below this one. And that will be where you want to like really take stronger risk. But, you know, overall, I think like, based off of what I'm seeing today, like you want to, but on the lower time frame, this is resistance, and you don't want to do it this second. That's if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like it's tough to describe because we play this structure so often, and can it pop here? Yes. And can this be the bottom? Yes. And there's going to be people watching this stream that aren't traders that have like BTC on the side or USDT on deck, and they're like, hey, I just want to buy some and like be comfortable and go to sleep. Like, I think you can do that, probably, but you wanna have, if these break down and like severe and run these wicks and then like go below this, for instance, and then go down and they get rejected by the then you would manually sell. You would probably just get out and then wait to see what happens. But I think for the most part, it's not a bad time to definitely get in with spot, at the very least. Yeah, all right. So it's tough to explain. Foz, highest OI on Bitcoin options calls expiry is tomorrow at 48 and 52. So here we are at 52. Yeah, a lot of people are discussing that for sure. I mean, you have to you have to pay attention to those things, right? Cardi's been talking about that shit all week, and he was 100% right. People ain't one of us. Yeah, but good point, Foz. What's up, Foz? By the way, are you in voice? Is he here?
No, he's not there.
Who's here? Oh, my jaw is killing me. Ugh. Let's see. Yeah. What caused this crazy dip? I don't know. I think it's just price action, right? This is I don't buy in too much to the narratives of what caused what. Like when you look at this, was what caused this dip, right? Like what caused this one? Did something cause this? It's just a chart doing what a chart does. And then they find, different reasons and excuses for it to do this, but the bottom line is, I'll tell you what caused it. You make a high here above 60, and which dumps with volume. This was, actually stronger volume here. On this candle was bigger volume than the volume that drew this high. So you make an all-time high. The stimulus is released, so that catalyst is out of the way where people are getting their $1,400 checks. And it gets real bearish here, and then we bounce, and we don't make a higher high. So when this gets rejected here, not only here, but here, this rejection, not getting above this, plus you tried again here, failed, this failed. So if it's not going to go higher, then it must go lower, right? It's just that simple. And, when you get 3 daily closes in a row that are unable to penetrate this level, then the implications of that are bearish on this resolution. So you then get a dip, can't get above it, this can't get above that high, then you get a stronger dip, make another low, and this can't get above this, so you get more low. I don't know as far as like why it happened. Just looking at the chart, it makes sense, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's market cycles too.
Yeah,
And by the way, Foz just joined us in voice.
Oh yeah. Who knows what Foz is gonna say? Yeah, but
Hey, Foz.
but perhaps.
Yo,
What's up, man?
how's
Good
it
morning, or good night. What time is it over there?
No, it's like 3:30. I'm up waiting for Casper right now. So
You're waiting for what now?
the Casper sale
Oh,
is
doing.
happening right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that.
Man, Foz, you haven't talked in a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I miss this guy, dude. You got to come on more streams. I think these streams would be lit, man. Like we can do it. It'd be a lot of fun. I actually like know a thing or two now. Before it was like fucking just talking shit, right? Didn't know anything. But
we've been doing this for like 4 years now.
Yeah,
we haven't learned anything by now. When I don't know when we could.
right? Let's see. This guy's saying, what does BTCD say? We covered that kind of extensively in the beginning, but BTCD did not break out on this move, which is good for alts in my opinion. You know what? I have it here still. So, you know, this is weakness. This is showing weakness to me, and we're just coiling up here. You know what? You know what else? So there's a tweet that I have, but basically like this area is where I'm looking ultimately for this to capitulate. Like this bear flag breaks down and then takes out this level here, like or somewhere in here between like 49 and 55. I would say lower. Yeah, probably like 50. Maybe a run below 50 is where I'm looking for BTC to ultimately, a BTC dominance to end up. And like that's basically your top of alt season when that happens. So if you see BTC dominance dumping below this line here, like to like 49.10, something like that, that's when you need to pay very close attention to a potential top on alts. If that happens, that's my projection. It doesn't need to, but I would expect so much price action here for this to get hit. You know, obviously if that happened, it would be very good for altcoins. But, you know, it's hard to tell. It's staying in this range for quite the long time. And like I was saying, if this were to break out and break above perhaps this level, like 65 or 66, depending on the direction BTC is heading, you know, if BTC is breaking out, making new all-time high, and now heading for 100,000, and this starts to pump above, takes out this diagonal, that would be your first sign to be fucking scared. So like if BTC dominance gets above like 63.50 or so, then you have to start to be very cautious in alts. If it gets above 65.85, like 66, man, it's fucking bad. It'll be bad. So then you're looking at 70s again. Like I don't look at this chart just like, hey, this is a chart like any other chart, because these levels are impossible. I'll say it. Some people talk about like, oh yeah, it's going to go up to 90. That's impossible. It's a completely different market. You know, this is just percentage of what percentage of the market does Bitcoin hold. And the idea that now with DeFi and all these other projects coming out and stable coins, that Bitcoin will go to the level it did when altcoins basically first started to be, it's not possible. So you can't really look at it that way. Like I think like ultimately this would be the highest that you'll ever see it, would be like 79, but I'm not even certain that would come. I don't think so. So I think this ends up being bearish. Hits here, then you bounce, and then you could, you know, maybe make a bull flag there. But overall, I think alts, you know, especially being that Bitcoin, you know, it currently has a top, but, you know, we haven't you know, got that real capitulation on BTC as well as the bounce yet. So in between there, like Bitcoin could do all sorts of stuff, right? You could go here and do that and something like that. In between here, you're going to play alts.
Yeah, for it to get even close to 80 would be alt Armageddon. I mean, the whole market would be destroyed.
Yeah, that would be really bad. So like the other thing is, yeah, somebody in chat just brought it up, but when I look at FBTC, right, we were talking about this with Xavi on call. I drew this circle a while back, and we're like, yeah, it's got to get in here, because everybody's looking at this to hold. It's got to get into this circle at some point and take these people out. And it's funny because it was Beeple was the reason why. Basically, an artist sold like 50 million worth of ETH, and it took out a market cap that's like, it dumps a market cap that's like multiple billions of dollars, which is funny. So, you know, the concept of this artist selling his Ethereum is not like a bearish fundamental, you know? Nothing has changed with Ethereum. So the fact that that was the catalyst to break this support and it was bought is bullish, in my opinion. You definitely would like to see it reclaim this level, but we can even take another dip into here. But so far, this looks bullish. This is bullish to me. This is bullish. As long as this holds. If you go back down here and you start to get daily closes in this box, then that's bearish. But, you know, and with that, you would probably see this over this diagonal, and that would be scary. You know, can it go a little bit lower? Yes. But overall, when I'm thinking about it, the fact that this was the Beeple dump, you know, and it got bought, not too bad. Not too bad. So, yeah. What else?
You know, One thing I'll say is that I've been very disappointed by Ethereum the last like few weeks. I would say
Oh yeah,
it's been
shitty.
horribly disappointing to the point where I've legitimately been considering if I should if it would be better RR, like a higher beta play basically, to just transfer most of my Ethereum to Solana.
Interesting. So
Because
can I give my take on it before you continue? Because it's so
yeah,
interesting that you bring that up. From a sentiment perspective, at this point in time, well, I have to look at Solana's chart, but all I see on my feed is fucking Solana. A lot of people talking about Solana.
yeah,
And for weeks, like you said, everybody is frustrated with Ethereum, right? Nobody's winning longs on Ethereum. Nobody. They got stopped out on this wick and that wick, and then it pumped. Then people FOMO'd in here, and they got fucking rejected. And these wicks got them, and now this one. I think if this recovers this range, Ethereum may be bullish. You know, and that would kind of coincide with this breaking down. But when I look at like Solana, and you're so much more well versed when it comes to like fundamentals than I am, and you know, Solana obviously has been performing exceptionally well. You have the SAM thing going on, but it's like I hadn't been trading it, and like I looked at the chart today actually, and I was like, so many people have been talking about Solana. I feel like for like the last couple of weeks, and I look at the chart, I'm like, Jesus Christ, the fuck, you know, like doesn't look, you know, you want to see this break out, but it hasn't been performing too well lately, and on USD side, this is still good, but you just gotta wait to see which way this resolves. And you know, you want to be a buyer like here, and you know, selling up here. That's it. And then if it breaks out, then you buy the retest. But you know, this made a hell of a strong move already. So I don't know why people love it so much, but maybe you'll
honestly,
tell us.
like I was against it for a long time. It's myself, like that's why I didn't accumulate anything earlier. But my reasoning at this point is that what we've seen in the last few weeks is that Ethereum clearly is not going to perform if the market goes down or if the market isn't bullish. It's not going to outperform, barring some crazy EIP 1559 announcement. If they come out with that, that is a very big factor that might pump Ethereum, because then it becomes deflationary. But the time frame on that is, you know, with Ethereum, you never know.
Right.
Barring that one catalyst, I think that if the market is good, Solana will outperform percentage-wise in a spot trade, not leverage, right? As a spot trade, because obviously the drawdowns might be slightly worse, not yet so far, but if this breaks down into this channel, it'll be pretty bad. But it's basically a higher beta play, you know, like higher risk and potentially more volatility you have to stomach. But it's at 4 billion market cap, or it was yesterday. Maybe it's lower today, I'm guessing. So the room, and again, I'm going to use Cardano because that piece of shit is at 40 billion again, or 35 now.
Yep.
Not even comparing to Ethereum market cap, because you know that's a different beast altogether. But just comparing to another layer, which is Cardano, which is like 8x or 9x right now from Solana, and Solana has unlocked everything. There's not really a lot of unlocks coming in, right? That also narrative is done. So based on all of these things, and based on how high these other coins have gone, like, you know, if you look at the top 10, right? Like Theta is at what,
There it
10
is.
billion? Again, it might be lower today. I haven't checked since this drop. Theta is
Theta's
at
at
11
10.
billion. Yeah.
Yeah, 11 billion. Yep.
Yeah.
Solana is 3.6.
Yeah. It's just a room to grow. That's all that really like made me consider, should I switch?
Right.
You
More
know,
room
how
than
much?
right.
A lot of room, tons of room. If you consider like the backers and, you know, how much activity he's been seeing, and, you know, Sam will, you know, make sure people get on this. Like he'll pay them, he'll do whatever it takes, right?
Right.
This guy doesn't fuck around for sure.
Yeah.
100%. It's just all of these things together, and I just think that this EIB 1559 is a big deal for Ethereum. If that goes through, then Ethereum is the way to go. But again, there's no timeline. It's like it's up in the air. I mean, I don't have any inside information on that. So
Too many
I don't know.
engineers working on this, and engineers don't move fast. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big problem.
So Kusama, that one's been on fire. Like KSM, absolute fire. Like look at this fucking thing. Like
that was
you
an absolute
ultimately you want to be in something like this instead of F, right? Because I mean look at the upside. But like F is basically like here and it's like starting. So it could take longer, right? And from a fundamental perspective, like Faz says, being that it's also the second largest, like I'm not playing F myself. I was just like kind of talking about it as more of like an indicator for other alts, you know. Whereas if BTC dominance were to break down, you'd need to see large caps like F and Litecoin end up breaking out versus BTC. So it was more of like supporting data to my thesis that BTCD is going to break down. But comparing Sol to F, like I can see it. I can definitely see it. It makes sense. But it's just kind of like from a sentiment perspective, it's kind of like you said, it's been very frustrating for F. For you just said it yourself, and you're like you weren't buying Sol, but now you're like I want Sol, right when F does this move, right from the Beeple dump. So that's why I think like from a sentiment perspective, I think a lot of people are feeling that way, right? They're like fuck this F.
I've held off partly because I knew I was getting frustrated and I didn't want to make a decision like that based on frustration. I'm still considering it every day, but this is the reason why I didn't actually make the move yet, because I knew partially it was fueled because I was just annoyed with F at this point.
Yeah. Harmony 1. Bruh. You gotta see. I call Harmony 1 here. Like yeah, 27 sats. Like, hey, I think this could go to 50 sats. Like, let's take risk here. The fucking thing goes, and then just goes absolutely ballistic. I did not see this move coming, like at all. Like I knew this was a buy. That's all I knew. It was like I'm watching here. I'm like, all right, this is looking bullish, and then it takes off, and I didn't see this coming. It's fucking crazy. 10x in BTC. This is absolutely off the hook. Like, what's it doing in USD? Unreal. Like, I don't know what you want me to look at it. What am I going to say? You know, there's not much anybody can say at this point. Like, this is a stick that's gone straight up.
I have a name for these charts. It's not really a name, but a term I like to use. It's like, you know, the kind of charts that make you feel bad for not being in them. So I just stopped looking at a certain point.
What do you call it? What's the name?
No, there's no name. It's just the kind of charts where after a while you look at them and you just feel bad.
I don't want to look at this. Yeah. Dude, this is at the end of the day, like, just move your stops with the move, right? It's bullish until it isn't. Once it breaks the parabola, then it's going to be bearish as fuck. Just like Matic was, right? Matic, that pumped to 50 cents. See ya.
Or Alpha. Alpha was a good example because so Alpha went from 20 cents to 2.8. So that's a good example to look at what happens afterwards.
Yeah. You get a nasty dump. I'm long Alpha right now, actually.
Yeah, same.
You are too? You longed it? I bought the dip. It took a beating, you know? I'm in like I think like here, this wick. This is where I got in. But yeah, what else?
Team. I like their team fast, so that's a positive for them.
VeChain had been bullish, kind of shitting the bed now. I don't love this. This is like, you definitely want this to hold. If this doesn't hold, this could get really ugly. Like, because it's now, you know, you have this well-defined channel, right? And you definitely want to stay in it. If you start to get acceptance below and you bear flag, retest, it can go into free fall mode, and then, you know, here. Somewhere around there. I don't know. I would let it resolve here. It can bounce out because this has been a very strong trend. But this is, I would say on this move up, this is probably the most concerning price action that we've seen thus far. So we'll see how it handles it, right? But it doesn't look fantastic here. It's dangerous. This guy keeps posting his, they want to see Chili's. Chili's, another one. I had like a few million contracts on, like the hour it broke out, and you know, it pumps like 40% in like an hour or whatever. I'm like, Jesus, like I just made like, you know, significant money, so I'm going to sell it, and I didn't get back in. And then, you know, that position would have been worth like probably close to like more than $500,000 if I held it, but you know, I didn't. Anyway.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I
yeah,
did 2 moves on Chili's, and that's it. I stopped it because I think it needs to cool off a bit.
Yeah, here, I mean, it's basically doing the same thing that it did here, but just so much bigger, right? So the implications of the way this resolves are going to be stronger. So if this area is not going to hold, like you have wick down here, you start to get below here, then I think you revisit this guy. Right? That's like a 50% drawdown again. But you can this could have been enough, and this can end up breaking out. So I'm gonna watch it like that wick is kind of stupid, but let's see. Yeah, you have like all the MAs here. Let's look at it on the daily, like a better perspective. It's still being supported. So like this is a level here, right? Eventually it's got to come back to these MAs. But you know, you might hit this one, and if it breaks out, then it's bullish again. I mean, the fundamentals behind it are very bullish as well, but you know, you got to keep in mind it's a very large cap, and it just went through a crazy run. So typically, once I start to see this thing developing, I only scalp. I scalp, you know. So I see this move happen, double bottom right there. I'll scalp long. If it doesn't get above this like area, it stalls here. Can't get above that, then I'm out. You could short this, right? So now this wick goes lower than that. It's not good. It's not good. You can get a bounce, hit this trend line, and then go down here. So you see something like this. Then that.
Yeah, this is a concept that a lot of people don't get. I mean, yeah,
Or capitulate.
there's a lot of really cool things for them happening right now. They've signed Man City, they've signed Barca, they've signed a whole bunch of people. But, you know, people are going to take profit anyways. It doesn't matter who the fuck you sign. And yeah, at a certain point, when you're going up that steep, people are going to start selling, and that's just normal. So, you know, I'm in their price channels and their announcement channels. Well, not their announcement, their regular discussion channels, just to, you know, mine sentiment. And it's crazy, the people that are just buying tops on these projects because, you know, just because of all these announcements and fundamentals that are coming out. But,
Yeah.
you know, you can't take your eyes off the chart.
I tell you what, this BTC hourly looks like absolute trash. This is
Yeah,
this is not good. The daily is going to close awful. Well, we'll see.
I
It's
think
close.
it's a decent chance after the daily we see
Yeah, like a squeeze, right?
another back, like
Oh,
48 or something.
48.
50, 48 is bearish. 50 seems reasonable bounce area.
58. 58K? What'd you say, Fuss? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, I said 48 would be my bearish wick based on this price action right now after
Yeah.
the daily close. But 50, I think, is a good area where it could hit and bounce from there.
50.
Yeah, or 48, 48 or 50. I can't really decide.
Yeah, I'm not too far from that too. I got 51, 165.
Yeah. 48 is like, you know, I mean, there's already been like 1 billion in liquidations. I'm not sure how much fuel there is right now.
Yeah. Yeah, how much? Yeah, exactly. So regardless of, I mean, like where it goes, like you're going to get your next that's kind of like why I was like, yeah, love buying alts here because there's almost always some sort of retest or another dip that. So like everybody who bought this and like here and here that are like, oh, I'm buying the dip, they have to feel it. They don't just let you get it for free, especially in this structure. Like sometimes you get this. Like I really started to pay attention to it back in March. You get like this deep wick, huge volume, and it just like it doesn't stop. It never comes back. Like here was your this. So this is the big candle, and then you get the low here. Like you see that? That gets bought. So people bought this thinking that was the bottom, and then you make another low, retest this level. Eventually, I can't even pull this up on the 1 minute to show you what this did, but it there's always a retest. See? So like for the people that are like, yeah, I long like 3,900 or 4,000 or whatever. Like you might have got stopped out right here. Right here. There's always like another move that comes and stops people out so that they couldn't long the bottom. So like if you think you're longing the bottom, your stop needs to be kind of like a little further away. Or you move your stops up with it on the dead cat and then you re-long the dip and protect that position a little bit better. Like when the dip comes, that second dip has to hold or else it's bearish. And it's gonna do something that you're not expecting. So, now you have here, this is making a bear flag. This is gonna go back down, most likely. Hold on. Yeah. Most likely. Let's watch. Yeah, we got a lot of viewers here, a lot of people here. I didn't even realize. It's like almost 300 people. Guys showed up. Down here. So anything else? How long have we been streaming? An hour? Yeah, I kind of want to pay attention here.
Yeah.
Nice volume coming in. Let's see. Yeah, I got to pay attention to this. What else, Faz? You strategically joined after we covered Gather, huh?
No, I was there. I just
I'm kidding.
I can't join Discord putting up VPN.
Just jokes. Just jokes. Yeah, no, man. I say it all the time, but like you guys fucking did your thing, man. Really impressed with what you guys were able to accomplish and continue to be accomplishing. I mean, it's really just starting, right? So, like I said, these guys did it on like 300K capital, survived like 3 years of bear market. And, when you look at where they are now, like regardless of what happens in the market, they have a real business that like is solving a real problem. It's not like some made up problem, right? Pretty awesome stuff. So let's see. Yeah,
oh, for sure, it's not a made-up problem. You can't know how triggered I get every time I get bombarded with ads. So if this is just at least a step in the right direction, my hat's off, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Just to give you an example, while all this, I mean, not an example, but like a different kind of the markets. While all this is happening, I just logged into the Casper public sale, like on CoinList, and it says number of users standing in front of you, 22,000.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
And this is the sale where the minimum ticket size is 50K, by the way.
Wow.
The greed is high right now, huh?
This tier of Casper is $8 million, and you can do 50 to 250K. So 35 people can close this sale, and there's 22,000 people in line in front of me.
Jesus.
Oh, so you're not getting that then, basically?
It's ridiculous. I mean, it was a complete lottery system, anyways. But this is just ridiculous. There were 100,000 people 2 days ago for the $1,000 allocation.
Wow. Yeah, so now we're getting that retest I was telling you guys about. So hopefully nobody FOMO'd in up here. You know, this can hold. It can hold. So like on something like Tezos, if like it
And
holds.
he's just a little bit gather fud here because my buy is just missed by like fucking pennies.
Like I said, you see, like, what was I looking at? Alpha, right? I told you, right here. You see the little bear flag that occurred? So it dumps. You learn from this one. You make this channel here. This candle is significant, and then it makes a bear flag right here. Even on the 1 minute, rolls over, right? So now, now we see if this holds. If this holds, like anywhere here, then it's not bad. But ultimately, I'd be looking to see if this holds. We'll see. This can pop out of this, and this can be bullish. So let's see what BTC does. Everything is doing the same thing right now. Okay.
Yeah, everything popped back up. The market cap just regained about around 30 billion.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I want to see if we can get back above this, like especially this level, 52,560. Then if you reclaim like this has a chance to break out and then go to like the 53s, potentially 54.
It's actually really unfortunate timing for the Bitcoin dump today because a lot of alts were sitting at support and now they've just broken to the next level, which is quite a way bit down. Because I'm in, like for example, I'm in Bancor. I like that coin fundamentally for now at least, and it was sitting at support, which was perfect support. But now it's. I mean, to be honest, I always, if whatever 3 arrows puts a lot of money into, I always check it out, and usually the fundamentals are good because those guys, you know, they're not stupid money.
Right. Yeah, 3 arrows.
Yeah. Wallet. So any large investments they move like non-sales, I definitely usually check it out, and generally it's very good. Sometimes it's just it even goes over my head. I'm like, I don't even know what this product is, but I'm assuming it's good.
Just got a strange message that I don't understand.
Daily, the new daily's begun now. What's happening?
Oh, this is shit. I take my eyes off for a second. It's
Yeah,
not
this
bad.
is
Not bad. Not bad. Let's see. Where's Polkadot?
Nice.
What's Dot doing? This might have been it. Let's see. Ooh. Bruh. That rejection, though. Ooh. Nah. Dude, these hourlies are kind of ugly, though. It's like, you need to do something big here for BTC. It can squeeze, but
Yeah.
let's see. Well, they're fighting. They're fighting for sure. Hey, good to see you too, Edward. Thanks for watching. Let's see.
This doesn't break 54 soon. I'm just gonna try and sell any retest for now, I think.
I mean, this is not good. It's not good here. But you can't. It can squeeze. It can squeeze hard, like all the way up to here. You know, at least it can. But
Yeah.
looking at structurally, It's not great because you're starting to, I don't know.
So one of the reasons why I had the levels as 52 was an important one that I had, and
Hey, what's up, Calix?
not 52, sorry, 50 and 48.
Yeah.
50 and
So
48.
those are really high volume nodes. 50 is obviously the psychological barrier as well.
Yeah.
So I think we get a bounce there no matter what. But 48 is an extremely high value area, like a high volume node. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that is basically what I've been considering as like the last line of defense for bulls
Yeah.
for a while, even when it was 60.
Yeah. 48, you have the volume node here, 60-day moving average as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of confluence
However,
at
I
48.
mean, we haven't interacted with the 60 at all in this whole move on the daily.
Yeah.
So, like, touching it, I mean, that wouldn't be a great sign either. You know, revisiting that. Let's see. I mean, dude, like, bears might get starched here. It can happen. But it better cross over back into this. It's close, but it's like, you know, very volatile 1 minute candles, but this is still a bear flag here now. So let's see. I gotta be ready here. AVAX, you know anything about AVAX, Foz? I've been hearing that a lot.
Yeah. Max is interesting because I expected a larger dump recently because they had a huge unlock. Every month, their unlock is worth like, I don't know, like $800 million worth of tokens. So it's if those dumps get absorbed, I'm assuming that's as bullish as you can imagine,
Right.
which keeps happening.
Bro, like this chart is kind of rough. This looks kind of rough, but I guess ultimately it is at support. You know, you want to buy support, but
25.
yeah, yeah. I mean, can it go a little low? It could. 43K on Sunday. Yeah, think so. I don't know about that one. 43K on Sunday. You know, I won't rule it out. I won't rule it out because this structure here definitely has bearish potential. Like this, and when you look at the size of these candles, like, can it happen? For sure, it can. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that's happening. Let's see what DXY is doing here. You gotta keep an eye on this guy. It's kind of bullish. Like, depending on which direction this comes out of, we'll see. See, FBTC is still bouncing. Not bad. Tezos recovering. What's BTC doing? Oh yeah, decent candle. Not bad. It recovered. This guy said gather sucks.
Oh, he's just looking for attention. Just to
That's funny. Oh man,
look at his name, Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. It's all good. You say what you want. It could be salty. It's all good. Gather sucks. Yeah, you gotta hate those 50Xs, right?
Yeah.
Sucks. So, Foz, what do you make of the expiry on Friday? because everybody seems, you know, there are people. I've seen multiple people calling for it now. The futures expiration, 43K. That's like kind of like the CME gap, you know, that everybody's looking for that doesn't come. 43K does sound a little too deep, in my opinion.
The
But
thing about these expirations is that I think a lot of people look way too much into them, because at the end of the day, there's no real entity that's out there hunting these stops or something like these expirations. Everyone has these, and having a strategy that's having your own. I mean, anyone who can hunt this kind of things, you assume has a lot of capital, right? So someone with that much capital, it doesn't really make sense for them to have their strategy be to hunt people. It's really weird constantly.
right,
It's
and
very
you
risky.
you can't predict like what Elon and like Sailor are gonna do, you know.
Yeah, because if you're even in the position to be able to influence a market, you're playing with a huge stack of cash or money. Sorry, and it's just too risky to try and do stuff like that on a regular basis. Maybe now and then, especially nowadays, like there's too much money involved. I don't think. I think people get nervous and it becomes like a people like take fewer decisions and take risk off. But I don't think there's actually anyone out there, going after this stuff. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah. So like looking at what we're seeing now, this seems to have held for now. Like on, this shows possibility for upside now. We'll see. It looks pretty decent on the low time frame. This was a stop run. Dude, the FBTC looks good. I'm telling you, the Beeple FUD. This is a V bottom, right? This is good. Look at that. You see it? This is fucking good. But we'll see what happens if it interacts with the first MA here in a second.
SBTC.
Yeah, FBTC is like recovering pretty strongly there.
What's it right now? I haven't seen SBTC in a while.
It's back over 3.
What is it?
Back over 3. When story time. People rebought. I don't know. There's too many people to tell the stories.
Yeah, this is a PG channel, guy. PG.
Nah, I'll say whatever the fuck I want here. But I'm just too tired. I don't know. What story you want to hear? We were talking about the rub and tug place the other day. That was some story. Yeah. So anyway, man, this was fun. I'm glad you guys. Hopefully, you guys. The traumatizing ones. You want to hear about my traumatizing stories? I mean, like I ever tell you guys, my mom made me do tap dancing when I was a kid. Like,
No.
dude, like for 1
That
year.
is cruel. and
My
unusual, man.
mom's like, she's into like the gayest shit. Like if it were all up to her, I would have done like gymnastics and like wand twirling. Like the shit that she thinks is cool is like ridiculous, She's like, yeah, you should. She's talking about her grandkids. She's like, yeah, get them into swimming and gymnastics. I'm like, nah, fuck that. They're playing baseball, basketball, football, whatever. But yeah, wrestling. She's into like, but she made me do tap dancing for a year, and it was me and like 6 or 7 girls and like one other guy, and that guy turned out to be gay. But it was the worst. Oh my god, fucking tap dancing, horrible,
Wow.
horrible. The shit, like I told you about the Did I tell you about like how she used to make me write like master on my envelopes, like for my birthday
No.
invitations? Like
No.
like so like she'd make me write the envelope and like address it to, like, let's say my friend's name was like Tom Wright, right? That was actually my friend. She would have me write Master Thomas Wright.
Oh my god.
Master. So Master Joe Schmo. Master. And then they would be like, my friends would be like, they made fun of me for it. Like, yeah, I got the birthday invitation. I'm your master, And it was just like weird shit. And I was like, she made me do it. And Yeah, yeah, I'm scarred from it, but
Man, she must
Yeah.
have been pretty heavy with that wooden spoon.
yeah, yeah, and then like when I got older, I just fucking rebelled. I rebelled so hard. Like I was like, once I realized I'm like, you really can't do shit to me. Like I just became very rebellious because she didn't understand. Like she was born in Korea. She came here like in high school, and moved to the Bronx and ended up being like the valedictorian. Like she just worked her ass off. She's a hardworking person and single mother, but she was like kind of Americanized, but not. And but she wanted to be. She like I feel like she always wanted to fit in, but she didn't understand like moving out of the city to like a suburban neighborhood. Like she didn't realize that I was different from like the 99% of the white classmates that I had, right? And like had no idea the kind of like social anxiety that I would have, being the Asian person there. And my fear was like if I told her what it was like, then she would go to the school and start yelling at people. So I would never talk to her about that. But like she would pack like sushi and shit for lunch, and like kimchi and seaweed and like homemade sushi, and I'd be like eating it in the corner like this is delicious, and people would be ridiculing the fuck out of me, back then. But ooh, let's see. So anyway, I kind of like shaped who I was for a very long time.
And it's funny because kids today would kill for something like
Exactly. You see these fucking hipsters like I love kimchi, man. Like, fuck you. Choke on that shit. I don't like it. Let us have it. Asian kids nowadays got it good. Yeah, I see like these Asian guys are like walking around with like these blonde hair, beautiful white women, and I'm like, fuck, that guy made it. He fucking made it. Like that's like the status symbol. No white girl would even fucking look at me for like my first like 15 years of life. I was too Asian looking. But now stop the Asian hate. Yeah, now I'm like in the shower like trying to rub one out like while like because I got kids and shit and like I have no time, so I got to do it in the shower, and my wife tries to catch me while I'm doing it to see what I'm looking at. I think that's her move. Like she like busts in the door once she found out like I was like in the shower doing that. She tries to like come in, so like I'm like on I gotta listen for footsteps and shit. But I was scrolling through Pornhub and they had like this new channel called Banana Fever. Yeah, Banana Fever. And yeah, no shit. I remember I was joking about like if Andrew Yang becomes the president, maybe we'll start to see like Asian male porn on Pornhub. It'll be like blacked. Obama was the president. All of a sudden you go to porn, it's like black guys fucking everybody. But it wasn't like that when I was growing up. But ever since Obama was president, it's black guys are fucking everybody. But now I'm like, all right, maybe Yang can win, and we can start seeing like instead of black, we'll have yellowed, and you'll have Asian guys fucking the white girls on Pornhub, and I turned and it was like they had like a guy dressed like a samurai with some white chick, and it was called like Banana Fever. Like what the fuck? This is pretty cool, right? But I didn't watch it. I swear. No, real talk, man. Real talk. So, let's see. I kind of got diverted there. Yeah, exactly. My vision is I called yellowed before it even happened. You see? My God. I think we lost Foz.
No, sorry. I was just wrapping up the.
You're doing a Casper sale. What the fuck is KJ going on about?
On that.
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate because I actually sold Tether for Bitcoin for the sale at 56K today.
Dude, that's the cost of doing business, right?
Dude, I thought it'd be like one of those. I was okay with like I saw that and I saw it go down like 2%. I'm like, man, this is unnecessary. and then I saw it go down 10%. And I'm like, well, this is highly unnecessary at this point. This is just egregious. I don't know. The new I bought Bitcoin after like a week or something. I haven't touched Bitcoin in ages. Like buying spot Bitcoin. I mean, you know.
I'm
Haven't done that
laughing
in
at the
eight-
guy's comment. Plastics, I'm laughing at him.
This is. I felt like that meme where you know that Bogdan meme where like on the phone, like, oh, he bought, dump it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bogdanov theme.
Dude, Nitsua Park goes, Foz is looking up banana fever for research purposes. That shit got me. That riced. Banana fever. Yeah, he bought. That's how it is, man. Eek. We'll see. I don't know. This might have been enough, but if this doesn't hold, I don't know. No good. It's no good, so we got to pump now. Let's pump. Come on. We'll see. It feels like enough damage was done, but we might get
we'll
a little
see.
deeper test.
I think we still had a little bit of room, but we'll see. I kind of like Foz's 50 area. To be honest.
50 even.
Yeah. 50, 149. You know, around that area, just where the tops are, and the
Dude,
on a lot of
the
action.
best part with I posted a tweet about banana fever, and there were a bunch of guys in my comments like shilling some coin named Banana. Like they didn't even know what the fuck I was talking about. They popped up. They're like, "Yeah, bullish on banana." Yeah, like, bro, it's not what I'm talking about. Too funny. You guys are still here, huh? People still watching this shit?
Yeah, so around 320.
Yeah, buy more. Buy more, then sell this, then buy this. Do that. Or buy Foz's 50K. I like the way FBTC bounced. Bullish
Yeah, I got
on
some
banana
stickers
coin.
in, and we're starting to see a little bit of green. So, you know, it's not looking terrible, but
Yeah,
I've
we're
just
not
got some-
we're not out the woods yet, for sure.
No, exactly.
Not yet. Ooh,
I got some
what
lower
did I
just
just do?
in case.
What just happened here? You're what? What's going on? What the fuck?
You got to refresh your page. Java's fucked.
Dude, what is going on?
TradingView does that. It's just a glitch, and
I've never seen that before.
yeah, no, it's happened to me a couple of times.
All right,
Just
so I need to
over.
go eat because I am starving. I want to keep an eye on this. So, yeah, guys. Foz, thanks for hopping in, man. It's been a pleasure. Always love talking to you. You got to do it again.
Yo.
Always fun, yeah.
We got to do it again. You know, like
Yeah.
one of these nights. We got to do it. We'll do it planned, and we'll have a real good talk. And I'll get fucked up. I'll drink some Kirkland Scotch, and we'll talk shit. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, if you're just catching the tail end, we definitely talked about how to play this and what we're looking for. I think spot people, like, you definitely want to be a buyer here, not a seller. But there are different triggers that you have to be, you know, careful for. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And everybody have a good night. Be safe. And let's get this bread.
Yeah, man. Good night.
All right, good night. See you guys.
It's done.